y'all, and welcome back to Talks with Ty. Today, I have a very special guest all the way from the city of NYC.
You know, ready?
Nasirellis is in the building.
What's going on, y'all? Straight out of Harlem.
Yeah, okay, Harlem.
Yeah, you know, Harlem. We don't New York City. We love everybody, but
okay,
Harlem is leading the brigade. And remember that we're part of the conversation, and we're not a borough.
Okay, I was about to say, what is like the differences between, because I'm always hearing like this borough type beef or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling like, I don't know if it's like Philly, because we got Northwest, South. I don't know how the difference between y'all boroughs and like what is the difference between
it's probably the same classification that you guys have in Philly, but people don't really understand that like Manhattan is the borough, not Harlem.
Oh, okay.
But we are who we are. You see the material, so we are always a part of the conversation.
You ain't gonna have no borough beef on Talks with Ty.
Yeah, absolutely. Come for me, yeah. Staten Island, stay quiet. The Bronx, you already know.
Yo, so, I'm crying. Y'all heard it first. Nasir, he said what's up. So he letting y'all know what's up. And he in Philly talking that. So
all over.
It's
it don't
whatever.
matter.
We ready. But thank you so much for being here, Nasir, for real, because you coming all the way from New York just to show love to the show, and I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So y'all already know how we started. Before we even get things popping, we gotta have the bottles popping. So I told Nasir, we don't really know. I don't know. Bartanura
is what we're gonna go with. Listen, if y'all want to get a sponsorship, then send us over somebody who will help us.
Let me pour you up. So that's what we're drinking now.
Appreciate it.
I don't even know how to say it, Bartanura, but it's fine. This is some good wine though. All right.
Thank you.
And let me know if you want some more, because I'm a wine drinker.
Listen, I'm not shy.
I'm a wine drinker, so.
But what I did realize recently drinking wine, because I've kind of like transitioned from not drinking so much hard liquor, is that you can't just down wine as fast as you would drink.
Literally. Why do you think we sipping on the show? You sip.
Your stomach gonna be hurting.
You think my stomach gonna be hurting?
No. If you drink too much of it.
Oh.
Cheers.
Yes, that's how we do it, y'all.
Amen.
Yeah, so first off, let me just give y'all a small introduction about Nasir, okay? Not only he has his own platform with networking and connecting with other individuals, artists, creators, and you also had your own show not too long ago. Yeah. That's what drew my attraction to him. I'm like, okay, I love seeing people not only working in their passion, but just connecting with other people, because you had a platform where you had it open to other people, and you had them coming on your show and stuff like that. So I just want to get a small background behind who you are and your avenue that you created for yourself.
That's a big question.
Who am I?
Who am I?
Yeah, who is
I think, and it's funny to be asking me that right now, because I'm kind of redefining that in this very moment in my life. Okay. But we're not gonna get into that right now. Okay. Who am I? So, I grew up in Harlem. And kind of storytelling and arts and music was always a part of just the fabric of my family, the community, the history just exists and exudes everywhere you go.
Yeah.
So I kind of fell in love with the arts and stuff like that at a very young age. Started singing at a very young age. Then we're not going to go into that.
I'm about to say, right. When is the EP dropping?
It's coming. In 15 years. Oh. Yeah, in 15 years. But no, I'm a journalist at heart. I love telling stories. And so that platform, the Interact show that you saw, we did 2 seasons of that show, completely produced by myself and a team of people that I put together with my best friends. And the show was really meant to be about bridging the gap of interaction between artists, creatives, and then people who love to indulge in that type of content.
Yes.
So, I did it because I found myself traveling, covering the Grammys, red carpets, interviewing artists and stuff like that. Yeah. But people would never... the audience that I would show the content to, they were never able to be there with me. And I really wanted to have them be a part of the conversation and even sit on the show with me. So when we designed that show, one of the most important things for me for the show was, yes, we may have, for example, Justina Valentine, she was on our season finale. Wow. She may be here sitting next to me, but then you can also, as a guest in the studio audience, come up and be a part of the segment and have that conversation with her that you never would have had before.
Yeah, I love that.
So the interaction was just based on just building interactions. People tell stories, people build relationships, and life kind of evolves in a beautiful way when you have beautiful interactions. So
I love that. So during that whole process, did you have any high moments of doing that? Because A lot of people don't get the opportunity to even have platforms and to build platforms and then for you to be able to do it with a team. Like, how was that process for you? Like, how was you in that moment a little bit? And then just me and Sabri alone, we understand the production. We know things can get crazy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just with setting things up, things not always going how you pictured it or just a schedule. So how was like, you know, just being in that space for you, like mentally, spiritually? Did you have a high moment? Like,
a bunch of them. I mean, as you and Sabrina probably both know, production is production. It's gonna go whichever way it want to go.
Okay.
And you really just got to kind of like be along for that ride. But that's the beauty of what we do, right? That there's things that happen. For example, you know, if you talk about a high, like the season finale of season 2, I think Justina Valentine was a special guest, and I had done a sit-down interview with her, and then the next portion we were supposed to have like a wilding out situation happen with the studio audience, but everyone was afraid.
Really?
Everyone in the studio audience was afraid. So she, as she, you know, is skilled and loves to do, just like started picking up on people and just like, give me a word, give me a word, give me a word. And then literally the entire thing, she like freestyled and made this whole rap about the audience and changed the entire moment. We didn't even plan for that, but it just happened. And so that's just to speak to the idea that like there's so much beauty in just creating things and kind of allowing them to have a structure, but then not be so married to that, you know, spontaneity, you know, can't be a thing. Yeah. I remember when we first started the season, or that was the show, the first season, the first day, the cameras were like not working the right way, or the sound wasn't working the right way. And here I am all dressed in front of a studio audience looking at me, waiting for me to start talking. And I'm standing there like, looking at my production team like, what is going on?
Right.
And because I'm the executive producer, the host,
you gotta figure it out.
Yeah. So I stormed off the stage into the control room, and I'm like, what is going on right now?
Right.
And one of my best friends, he was EPing the show at the time. He said, listen, go back out there. You deal with the people. We got this.
Okay.
And it was that day that really taught me, you know, to trust my team, and to have everyone just be engaged in what it is you're here to do. Because I'm a host, right? So once that camera comes on, like this is me and the people. That's it. So even if it takes 30 minutes, it's me and the people for those 30 minutes while production figures it out.
Right.
So, you know, that was a low, but it was a high because it really taught us, you know, how to trust each other.
Yes.
And how to just stand strong in your role and be committed to that, no matter what the process is.
Yes. No, I love that. I feel like everything you're saying is so on point because nothing, I feel like big or production or just whatever you're trying to build that you see in a bigger version it isn't done without a team. And I feel like it's crazy how you are learning the same time that you're trying to do it. It's crazy, and I feel like with different people, it definitely comes in at times where you just gotta trust each other, and that's what I mean. I totally agree, because a lot of times I be like, you know what, I don't really know these people like that,
right?
But
you know, just going, its manifestation is so important, and that show alone, like I never imagined I'd be hosting a talk show with a studio audience, broadcasted by Verizon and Spectrum, and you know all of this, right? Yeah. But like I literally took a box, it was a box that looked like this in my house. I carved it out, I put construction paper and literally made an entire set of what I wanted the show to look like.
Wow! And
I sat that in my room, and literally like a year later, that it just manifested. It just came to be.
Wow. I would love to just dive in a little bit to more of that. Your just determination and creative process of how you formulated that whole process. Because what I would say is like what drives you, or like what is it inside of you that makes you want to have that open space for people, of like that interaction for people, and like understanding that, you know, regardless of like status, you can still have this genuine interaction between just understanding somebody's art and who they are as a person. Like what is that spot in you that like lights up that makes you want to have a space like that?
Honestly, I don't know where it came from. But one day I just woke up and I was watching the Tyra Banks show.
Okay, so was that like a install?
Yeah, the Tyra Banks show, the Oprah Winfrey show, all of those shows. During my senior year in high school, I just found myself watching them a lot.
Right.
And because I was so articulate and educated and blah blah blah, and I can speak well, people were like, law, go be a lawyer.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, I make a lot of money, easy to do. There's a blueprint to it, got it. But then I found myself loving these moments that I was having watching these shows where tens and thousands and millions of people were having their lives changed by the conversations on one platform.
I love that.
And so I was like, you know what? I think this is what I want to do. I think being able to share a platform to tell these stories, to have these conversations is what matters to me. And so in any way, shape, or form, as you see me do content, it's always about, as I put on my Instagram, I'm a curator of conversation. Yes. A curator of conversation that about anything. It could be about masculinity in the Black community. It could be about the water in Flint. I don't know. You know, I want to be a part of curating and bringing people together to have conversations that matter to them and that are going to change their lives. Yeah. And whatever form that looks like, I'm game. So if it's on Instagram, if it's on Good Morning America, whatever.
Okay.
You know?
I totally agree with like everything you're saying. I wanted to ask, like outside of you navigating yourself like with the show, and now I see you taking other avenues of management, and you know I see on your Instagram you do a lot of like influencer, you know, stuff like that. You're taking different avenues. Like, how are you finding yourself in taking those different avenues of like careers and stuff like that?
Bro, I love just art and creativity in all ways, shapes, or forms. So like I said, when I was 12, like I was singing, and because that's when my grandfather was a part of a group, and so he would always take me to these shows, and he really taught me vocals and like how to break things down and how to harmonize and all of those things, right? And so I thought I wanted to be a singer, or rather, I thought that was going to be my main form of expression, and I kind of got rerouted to what my real purpose is, but I don't know. It's just I feel like I love music so much that, you know, me moving into being Seven's business manager is a divine type of alignment, because there have been many artists that have asked me to manage them or to work with them. And I mean, I'm not Barry Gordy or anything like that, but you know, I have experience and an ear and a natural aptitude to create and to help people to bring those things to fruition. So it kind of just felt perfectly matched when that opportunity came that we would work together. Seven is amazing as a talent, as an artist, as a person. He's just extremely driven, and us matched together is gonna be like, y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna see.
I love that.
But beyond that, you know, I'm also working with Condé Nast, directing one of their new creative lab programs that's basically essentially supposed to be introducing us, or rather introducing young high school students to like any and everything at Condé Nast. So, you know, on a weekly basis, I'm, you know, interviewing, or rather I'm setting up sessions for them to sit with the digital, you know, the president of digital, or the vice president of Vogue, or the writers who, you know, cast for Teen Vogue or GQ or Architectural Digest, whatever it may be. And I love that program because literally it is a program that if I was 14, I would have been in that program.
Yeah, no, honestly, when you told me about that, I'm jealous because this program, they need more programs like this, definitely in other cities and just like schools, because I feel like it'll help people want to be more creative and less just work in America, because I feel like people feel like when you get older they only talk about like the jobs, the careers that's like, hey, you behind a desk. I feel like they think like these creative positions there are less, which sometimes they could be, but I feel like if it was more exposed, or you know, had more connections to people, people would love something like that.
We need that. We need anything that's going to expose and teach people what the actual avenues are, because even, you know, both of us, ambitious as fuck. Excuse me, I don't know if y'all can hear ambitious AF, are going to find the answers, right? But we shouldn't have to work so hard to find the answers, you know? And so that's why I love that's why I love directing this program, is because we're giving them all of the resources that they need. So who even knew, you know, that there was a specific role of the person who cast for every cover? Who knew, you know, the exact process A through Z of how, you know, a magazine gets put into production? But through this, you know, we can introduce them to all those things and then match them up with a mentor that hopefully one day, you know, either they'll come back to Condé Nast and work for one of the brands, or they'll start their own magazine, or, you know, do anything.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I love in that process you said you found your passion. Did you find your passion through like these avenues that you've been taking career wise, or did you find your passion? Because you said you love singing, which is, and I feel like I still want to hear a note, but I'm gonna let you rock.
See, I'm a little under the weather, y'all. So I
I'm
don't know
gonna
if I
let
can.
him rock. I'm gonna let him rock. But I want to know. You said you found your passion. Did you find your passion through like these different avenues you've been taking with like career, with like trying music out, you're doing the show, being different, being in your creative spaces, management. Like, how did you find your passion?
It just came to me. It just I'm a type of person where I just listen to what I feel,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the only thing in life that I've come into contact with that makes me feel that it's just right. Like it excites me. There's a natural, like I don't have to try hard to be creative. I don't have to try hard to be a great manager.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you don't know everything. Any man who tells you they know everything, you shouldn't trust him.
Yeah.
But I'm obsessed with all of this. So it's like I go to sleep thinking about this. I wake up thinking about it. If I tried to do another job, not probably. Every job I've ever had, including probably the last 4 that I got fired from, I was always doing creative and artistic things, even on the clock at those jobs.
Wow.
So I knew that this just was not what I was supposed to be doing. If it's not art, if it's not creativity, then it's not for me. And then granted, now listen, we got to pay our bills. I'm not going to say don't be a hustler and try to figure out, multiple streams of revenue, but nobody can tell me that this is not what I'm supposed to be here to do.
I know that's right. It's the confidence for me. I was about to hit on that. I want to hit on that because I already feel like when I meet and talk to people, there's always a certain energy that I feel like I pick up on, and it's definitely confidence coming from this way.
Just a little.
So like I want to know, like, was there always an aura you had about yourself, or did you come into that throughout, like in the process? Because I know I wasn't always confident, but I knew it was a place I was going to get to.
He's like, I'm gonna get there one day. Confidence. I think in middle school, I started to like come into myself and like realize a lot of my power as a man, as a boy, as a black man, all of those things. And I was called arrogant a lot in middle school.
Okay.
And I had a hard time kind of like working through that, trying to figure out what does that mean. But luckily my godmom kind of told me, she's like, listen, don't let anybody use that word against you as a weapon. Because the Caucasians of the world, Caucasians, are raised with a different mindset, right? And they're young boys that look just like you, walk around with the same level of like entitlement and arrogance. And it's not to say that like you are any better than or that you deserve more, but that we all are equally deserving.
Wow.
So I started to move through the world like, you damn right I'm smart. You damn right I'm articulate. You damn right I'm fine.
Okay, baby.
You know what I mean? Like, you damn right of all these affirmations, because why not?
Why not?
And who told me or who told us that we shouldn't feel that way?
I don't know, but I'm glad that
seriously though, for real.
I honestly, because I couldn't agree more. And I feel like it was only later in life when I had to, find myself through, I guess, I don't know what is it's been through experiences more, or just conversations more, or maybe just looking in the mirror. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I know
that too.
When I feel like I was most free and just secure and just comfortable with myself is when I got to high school, because that's when I feel like not high school, college, because that's when I felt like the most just free of just like the whole, I guess, people thing. Because when you get to school, like college is so different, because people, they weren't about classes and passing. They're not more so worried about the little social groups and all of that. So it was the first time I actually just felt like I can walk in exactly who I always was. You know what I mean? So I totally know what you mean. And it was only to that point when I got to school is when I didn't care about the what people said about if I was arrogant or not, because you take it how you want to take it.
Listen, how you feel about me is not my business.
I love that.
So obviously, I would love you to love me.
Yeah,
I would love you to love me. 9 times out of 10, people do love me because I'm a nice person. Like I'm a great person. I'm infectiously
Yeah.
always trying to support people and or, you know, just have a good time or push them to be their best selves. Like I think sometimes even to a fault, like I feel like it's my mission to help everyone figure out what it is that they're burning to do in this world. Because I know how good it feels to me to like do it and to live in that. And so when I see it for other people, like when I was doing the talk show and we did the 2 seasons and everyone on our team was all people of color, people that I knew who I worked with in the industry, and they'd all come onto this project to help us, like, you know, just make it happen.
Yes.
And I would sit back and like watch them have moments where they were like, wow, like I never knew I would be able to have this opportunity, or I never knew I would be great at this thing. And it's not to give me, you know, any points, but it just feels good to me that to be able to provide an opportunity or a space where like we can all actualize like what we are here to do. I love that. I want every single person, my kids, my coworkers, my friends, everyone to realize that. And everyone isn't going to be a president, or everyone isn't going to be Madonna, or, you know, whatever the case may be, but there's something that you're here to do. You know what I mean? There's some type of impact that you're here to impart on people. So like figure that out, find it, and like share it.
What if people couldn't, like, the difficulty of finding that placement in somebody, like what could you tell somebody who was looking for that type of space in their life that they wanted to be filled with passion or like dreams? Because for you, you took those necessary steps in finding that. So from your experience of taking those steps, what could you tell somebody of trying to find those steps and finding that placement and that passion for them and that spark? I would say
really it's just focus on or find or explore, whatever word you want to use, the things that just make you genuinely feel good. So if you wake up and you like laughing videos, or you like writing funny comments or trolling on Twitter or whatever, like whatever the thing is, like isolate those things and then figure out what careers or avenues make direct lines to that. Because then that's naturally just going to be what you feed into, what you are most passionate about. I don't think I could like wake up for the next 10 years and like think about law. Yes, it would make me a lot of money. I have friends who are lawyers who are making a lot of money, and that's great for them, but that wasn't my way. You know what I mean? I didn't wake up thinking about law. I didn't wake up thinking about law school. I woke up thinking about red carpets and talk shows and traveling and reporting and all those type of things. So it's really just about what naturally interests you. I always tell people, what makes you happy? Okay, cool. Now that thing, how can you turn that into something that you want to do every day and you can get paid to do? It's just that damn simple. And sometimes it's harder for people to like find those things, right? Some people just like, I don't know. So keep looking, like explore it, but don't, you know, I was just having a conversation with my twin recently where I was just like, don't take the power of who you are and put it into anything just because it's going to give you a check. Like there's a reason why you have that power, and that power is supposed to be used for a very particular thing. And now it's your journey to find it, execute it, and elevate it. But don't be lazy with it because it's a responsibility. So
I totally agree. Wow. Speechless, almost speechless. No, honestly. So what do you have next for the Nasir Ellis? Oh, you need some.
What's next is me getting a little refill.
Okay, I'm glad you said it because I thought it was just me. Hold on, because I'm gonna need a refill myself. I told you it's this wine.
It's good. Right? It's good.
This is good. This is why I feel like it's gonna be this and that Moscato.
What's next?
Yeah, like what's the goals you got on? What's on the menu? What's next?
Like I said at the beginning, I'm going through like a transition in my life right now where things are going to look a lot different.
And you said that you were you having a transformation with yourself, you were saying, or with the career stuff? I heard you say that.
It's with self. It's with self.
So why are we having a transformation with self?
Because I'm getting back to a place of like realizing that I kind of slept on myself in a way over the last couple of years.
That was a word.
And didn't really, you know, I was still functioning. Like I vibrate at such a high frequency that it's impossible for me to not be productive to some degree, but like it definitely was not me living in 100% of my greatness. So it's really me just refocusing to that, putting that into myself, but then also putting it into Seven, who you know I'm working with as well. This year is really just going to be about that. It's going to be about making sure that he has any and everything that he needs to kind of spread his light throughout this world. It's going to be me working more with Condé Nast and building out what this program looks like. man, there's so many things that like I want to do. I'm like in an NYU course right now for music industry essentials and stuff like that. So I'm kind of like doing the school thing. Right now for me, it's really just about like aligning things and putting things into place so that I can just like steam forward with my vision. But
I love that.
A lot of people have been asking me about the Interact show.
Okay. I'm asking about it too.
Right. I mean, right.
I'm asking about it.
We talked about it earlier. So I'm trying to figure out what that looks like in 2022. In a COVID world, because studio audiences and all that type of stuff is just a thing.
That's true.
So yeah, I will say here that the Interact show is definitely going to come back. Yeah. But it's going to look different. I just need to figure out what that's going to look like.
Yeah, you're going to bring it on like big and better.
Well, the idea that I originally had is for it to be a traveling show. So the idea was that, I don't know if you remember Yogi Bear when we were kids.
I remember. Okay, little brown one.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was familiar.
So Yogi Bear was a part of the concept of how I developed the show as well, because I remember going to see Yogi Bear and he would just like pop the fucking, I'm sorry. Pop the window down or stage down from the car, pull up in any neighborhood and give a show. Wow. And that was so entertaining for me as a kid. Like, wow, we get to see Yogi Bear and everybody in the hood could be a part of it. So a part of my concept for the Interact show was not only to have that interaction to bring the audience to the creatives, but to also do that in different cities. So we could just pull up in Philly and the Interact show, maybe we interview a Meek Mill in Philly because he's from Philly.
Yeah, right.
Pull up in Miami, maybe we interview in the City Girls, whatever. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to travel. I love and that. Not just those people either. It's also, for up and coming artists and people who aren't at the top of their game yet, but just giving names and city references. But that's the idea, that it's supposed to travel, that it's supposed to be something that is taken across the world. So maybe in this new, version of it, we'll start on the road.
Close to the last question I was going to ask is, if you can envision the you that you see yourself accomplishing everything that you are working on right now. Like I want to know like, who is the person that you would see, and like, would you say anything to them?
Wait, let me make sure I understand what you're asking.
So the question is, envision like the you that you see accomplished with being Seven's manager, him taking off his career, the Interact show, big. It's bigger than Oprah.
Sheesh. Come on now.
You know what I mean? The program that you got, it's a program in every school just because you were a part of it. Like you envision, you see this that you're accomplishing all of these great things, and you didn't accomplish beyond, your imagination. Like, who is that person? Like, what would you see? And like, would you say anything to them?
What I will say to that person from the seat that I'm in right now is to just remain humble and remember the real reason why we're doing it. Wow. Because I know that we're going to be at the Grammys. We're going to be on all these major platforms. We're going to touch people all over the world. So that's already coming. What is important is to like make sure that the process to get there is like well nurtured. So just to keep learning, like stay a student. Don't think that you know it all. And keep checking yourself, keep working on your mental health, keep tapping in and taking breaks when you need to. Kind of just like care for yourself and health in all ways so that you can like be as great as you need to be. Which is why I'm always on 7. Like, did you go to the doctor? Did you sleep? What did you eat? Because like we were put on this world to do amazing things, right? But the body as a vessel still needs to survive and execute and perform, right? So I would say to him, just, be mindful and don't allow all of the glitz and the glam and the money and success to have you ignoring things that are like really important, because the things that are really important don't change from now to then. They're not going to change. The only thing that's going to change is the gifts and the blessings that come with them, but the principles are always going to remain the same. So
I love that. I mean, wow, I couldn't agree more, like entirely. So first of all, y'all, I just want to just really live in this gratitude right now, because I feel good. Like I love being just in a space with other creators, other people who I just feel so very openly and connected to. You know what I mean? Like I feel your energy is so genuine and so real. So I just want to say, first of all, just I gotta thank the moment. And then second,
Gratitude.
thanking Nasir for coming in and dropping so many gems and just, giving us so much of your story. Cause I can just tell like you already where you trying to be. Like I can see it.
Listen,
Like
listen.
where you are, your destination, your walks. Like I already see you there. You know what I mean? So, and I just want to wish all like the best in your success and your walks of life, all of your connections, the people that you are, inspiring, all of that. I just want to wish you all the best. And
Thank you.
I couldn't, mean that more because I just feel it. But yes, do you have any last words? And then definitely put your socials out there and stuff
Oh,
like
of course,
that.
of course. Any last words? There's no last words other than
After that.
other than the gratitude.
Gratitude.
Gratitude is a heavy theme of where I'm at right now in life, and I think we all should be. So just definitely have gratitude for the things that you once prayed for that you are currently enjoying.
Yes.
And all my socials, official Nasir Ellis. I don't have Twitter. I do, but I don't. Official Nasir Ellis on Instagram is probably the premier way to see anything that I'm doing. Obviously, follow 7, watch 7,
Yes.
subscribe. We got a lot of good stuff coming this year.
Yes. Tell
Singles.
7. We trying to get him. We
Seven,
gonna see.
he's gonna be here.
He
will be here.
We gonna get 7 on the
We
show.
gonna bring him.
Nasir,
We gonna bring him to Philly.
You gonna be there
I
too?
promise. I
All right,
promise.
we gonna
bring 7 up here. And yeah, just stay tuned. Just stay, tapped in. It's a lot of things that are gonna change this year. A lot of things are gonna happen with me, and I'm excited to have y'all be a part of that ride. So.
Yes, I can't wait, y'all. And then he did say the Interact show is coming back, so y'all gonna see me on it.
Yeah, that too. Now I have to because I said it.
Y'all
right?
gonna see me on. I'm gonna be on it now. So
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna be on there.
Listen, absolutely, and that's not me just saying it on camera. Absolutely.
All right, man. We gonna
Absolutely.
see you. All right, y'all already know where to keep it alive. Make sure y'all tune in. So next time, let's talk with Ty. Subscribe, and you'll be at the bottom. Make sure y'all follow this very inspirational, very powerful man. Be inspired, get connected, and y'all already know how it is. We out.
Later.